All right, good to see everybody, and I'll wrap up NC State and then look ahead to Pitt here. But obviously last Thursday, a great team win for our program, and it was one of those games that I felt everybody contributed. You know, special teams. Nick Skiba hit his career-long field goal, and did a good job of responding with a field goal and hit all of his kicks, which turned out to be critical. I think defensively we got lined up. We defended the run, and we didn't allow a lot of explosive plays. And those are the three things we have to do. So I had seen subtle improvement, and I thought given the circumstance and the offense that probably was the best defensive performance of the year. And then on offense, we didn't turn it over. We did a great job of converting third downs in the second half. Our wide receivers stepped up and made some big-time catches when we absolutely had to have them. And then we ran the 2-minute drill to perfection at the end of the game. And we didn't have a lot of margin for error in that game. But our guys responded in spectacular fashion in every way. And I couldn't be more proud of them. The challenge moving forward is, we're still a very banged up football team. We've lost Tyler Williams for the year now. And so the number count on defense just continues to grow. And we play an excellent football team. Pitt, since October, has won 4 out of 5. They've beaten some really good football teams. And their only loss is by 5 to Notre Dame in a game that they were very much in it and had a chance to win it. Offensively, they're averaging between 250 and 260 yards per game. Their two backs, Allison and Hall, have 1,900 yards rushing on the season already. Both those guys Allison's already over 1,000, and Hall will probably get there. Their quarterback, Pickett, has really improved from week to week. And I think their offensive coordinator, Sean Watson, does a great job. That they formation you to death, they personnel group you to death, unbalanced, tackles over. They run so many of the speed sweeps, and then if you don't have edges to your defense, they get big plays there. And then if you do create edges, they really make you work at fitting all their different inside runs. And so they've done a great job of probing you and giving you different formations. And if they find a set and a play that you're not fitting correctly, bang, 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 bang. And they're getting so many big plays in the run game. They had they only ran 48 plays last week, and they had over 500 yards of offense. So they are peaking at just the right time. And they are in great position to win the Coastal. And then on defense, like any team coached by Pat Narduzzi, they're aggressive. Their corners are going to be in your face, pressing you. They're going to outnumber the run box. They're going to challenge us. So we're going to have to play really well on the perimeter this week and find a way to make plays like we did a week ago. And it's a really good football team.
What kind of change for that Pitt team? They obviously struggled in the non-conference part of the schedule, and they weren't really that highly regarded as they got into the meat of their schedule. And then all of a sudden they put together. What was was there a light that switched on for them?
I mean, I think their quarterback has gotten better every week. I mean, he's playing with a lot of poise and confidence. I think they found an offensive identity. They've kind of settled into what they are and who they are. They have a fullback, Ashton, number 35, that he's a throwback. I mean, he is a really, really good football player. And, I just think they kind of said, this is who we are. This is Pitt football. This is what we do. And they found an identity. And, they had some injuries early in the year like we did. And then they just kept working, and, they found a way to win some close games. I mean, overtime against Syracuse, and the Pitt game they scored or the Duke game they scored in the last, 30 seconds of the game. And they've found a way to win some close games. So, I can't say it's one thing, but right now, I mean, last week's game wasn't even competitive.
You mentioned they're peaking at the right time. Do you feel like last week could be the start of your guys peaking at the right time here?
I don't know. I'll tell you Saturday. You know, Pitt's been doing it now 5 weeks. So, you know, Pitt, beat Syracuse in overtime, and then Duke in the last minute, and just beat Virginia, who was winning the Coastal, and then beat Virginia Tech with just a dominating performance, and really probably has played Notre Dame as tough as anybody this year. So sometimes it just takes that one, and they got that one against Syracuse, and they have not looked back. And with us, I don't know. I mean, to me, we've been a little bit more like they got through September and then bang, and then I think we kind of got to the bye week limping, and then, you know, bang. It's been a little bit more of played poorly against Florida State, well against Louisville, poorly against Syracuse, well against NC State. I'm hoping we can keep it here. And again, this is a good football team. You know, I know I get accused by some people in the, not the print media, but of sometimes building up opponents. But I think we can all agree Pitt's playing pretty high level of football right now. I'm sorry, Les, I didn't know you were here.
Am I ever not here? Do you feel like your team has defended the run well in recent weeks, and does that, if so, does that give you any solace?
I would say the recent week. That was the best we defended the run all year. I mean, we fit our gaps and we pursued, and I mean, even guys that haven't been out there. I mean, Michael Allen made some plays, and Deion Bergen played well, and Ryan Smenda had a good football game, and Chuck Wade played his best game of the year as a safety. And I see a lot of our seniors playing their best football. Cam Glenn played a great game, and now we just got to maintain that level. And so, you know, is it a trend or just one game? I hope it becomes a trend. But I didn't feel we defended the run well against Syracuse. You know, Dungy in the quarterback runs, we didn't get off blocks, and I mean, he gutted us pretty good. You know, Louisville, we defended the run well, but that was the best we had played, and just we were gap sound, and guys were playing fast like they knew the defense, which was encouraging.
As you go through the injuries that you've had, especially on the defensive side, have you found yourself having to utilize players in multiple spots and multiple positions to kind of?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Luke Masterson plays linebacker and safety. Cam Glenn is playing free safety, and he's playing defensive end now in our nickel and dime package. Boogie Basham is playing different positions. Willie Yarberry is playing end and tackle. Justin Strnad is playing Mike and Buck. There's almost not a second level player who's not playing. There's very few guys in our defense, maybe other than Zeke. And I guess Asang Bassi. Those are the only guys that aren't right now playing multiple, and even Asang is playing corner and nickel. So we just leave Zeke alone.
Now Cam Glenn had a big game, obviously, Thursday against NC State. Was what you guys did with him, was it kind of like a game plan on that, or was it like just because of people? Was it a personnel, or was it a game plan decision to kind of use him in different ways?
Well, you know, the defense we played, you know, we've played. We didn't put in a new defense. We had a short week. We didn't have enough time. I would just say he probably played it better. He tackled well, and I think there was, like, if two plays could illustrate it, if you remember in the Syracuse game, it was a third down. It was like 3rd and 16 or 17, and we forced Dungy on a scramble, and Cam Glenn was the boundary flat player, and he let the thing get outside of him, and it became 4th and 1. And then with the game on the line the other day, Finley ran a naked bootleg, and it was basically the same responsibility, same deal, and then he kind of stayed outside and made the tackle. And that was for a few-yard loss. So it's just, that's an individual play, but essentially he had the same job 2 different weeks on a play that broke out the same way. And last week he did his job, and as a result, we won the game. If he doesn't make that tackle on Finley, if he doesn't stay home, if he doesn't get him on the ground, they make a first down and we lose the game. And against Syracuse, we didn't make that play. So we just need to run the defense and play the defense. And he did a much better job of that this week than he did the week before.
I assume now you've seen the play that Alex made on the touchdown on the block for Jack. What kind of play was that? And just from a senior.
Right place, right time. I mean, it's not like, I don't care what he tells you. He didn't do that intentionally. So, that'll be a play that he tells his grandkids, well, hey, I knew it was a hot, and I knew Jack was going to get the ball, and so I cut my angle sharper, and if I thought I got a piece of him, we could win the game. I mean, he was just running his route, and a little bit of dumb luck. So it's.
He actually told us he was in that he was going to make contact with them whether he wanted to or not. So
it's nice to get some honesty.
Dave, could you talk about the way State filled the box, try to force you to throw it, and maybe anticipating the same from State or from
Well, that's what State does, and that's what Pitt does. So
they do it similarly, or they do it
somewhat similarly. That the only difference is, NC State kind of played us different than they normally do. NC State traditionally is kind of based out of two safeties, and they'll get their field safety into the box, and they played us with a lot more one high, cover one stuff. Pitt usually is based out of two safeties, and they'll outnumber you with the field linebacker, but they also have cover one in their package, and that's just how a lot of people defend us. So we're used to seeing it, and I mean it's smart on their part. I think we run the ball really well, and we've had a little turnover at quarterback, and when you play a team in cover one, you're kind of daring you to beat you with the quarterback and the receivers, and that's where the play that Sage made, the play that Bachman made, we had to get those type of plays to beat NC State. They were going to play us one-on-one and outnumber the box, and the traditional run game, it's hard. But we stuck in some runs early that I think helped us. And so it wasn't completely one-dimensional. So we did have some balance, but it's, when teams defend you that way, it's hard to have balance.
Speaking of having balance and getting the running game going, what's the status of Matt Colburn? What's it looking like?
I mean, this is 2018 at Wake Forest, so he's questionable.
Ankle?
He rolled his ankle, and he was at practice today and did a little bit. But the next 48 hours will be critical. But Cade Carney's a good player. Christian Beal's a good player. And hopefully we'll have Matt, but we'll wait and see.
You seen any change in Jamie, given how he performed Thursday in the last few days?
I mean, he practiced well last week, and he practiced well today. So, I mean, I just kind of let him go. I mean, he's working with Coach R, and he's real impressed with how he played last Thursday, just his command. And the big thing was he didn't turn it over. That was important. That before you can win the game, you got to not lose it. And he didn't lose it. And then at the game on the line in the fourth quarter, he won it. And we got to have a similar plan this week.
Just going off of that, after the game on Thursday.
Your timing's impeccable.
But yeah, just
Did I throw you off?
the game's a little bit that time. But Kendall tweeted out how proud he was of Jamie after that game. So how has Kendall, through his adversity and injuries, helped shape and mentor these young quarterbacks?
I don't think Kendall has shaped and mentored, but Kendall has kept a remarkably positive attitude through all this. He really has. Kendall's always been a great teammate. His teammates love him. He genuinely cares about his teammates. And so I think sometimes people put things out there like that or say things that maybe in their heart they don't feel. I think with Kendall, it's very genuine. He's a good kid. You know, his career has maybe not gone the way exactly how he wanted it. He has never gone negative. And I really believe he is truly happy for Jamie and was very supportive of Jamie. And I'm really proud of Kendall, how he's handled himself.
You saw that Kendall will participate in the senior day festivities.
Yeah, I think you know, there's guys that we anticipate coming back. Justin Haran told us he's coming back, and Jake Benziger and Nate Gillum. And then there's just some other guys, whether it be Nate Mays or Kendall, that we kind of, you know, I think it's in limbo. That we'll see. We'll get through the end of the year and sit down with them, and it's twofold. That you know, obviously if they don't want to come back, and then the second part of it is that we have to invite them back. And you know, if there's any chance they're not coming back, which in both their cases there is, that we want to make sure that they get to have a senior day and a day that they're recognized.
Can you talk about what this senior class means to you and your program?
I mean, I just, in some ways, I felt this is the group that kind of helped get us over the hump. A lot of these guys are part of our first recruiting class. They all committed here very quickly. Quite honestly, a lot of them didn't have other offers. It was a little bit of a marriage of convenience that we wanted them, and a lot of them didn't have a lot of other choices. But they bought in. They've become great leaders, and I mean, I think you guys know how I feel about people like Phil Haynes and Ryan Anderson and Patrick Osterhage, and I mean, you know, Willie and Zeke, and just really, really, you know, I think it's one thing when you come here. Like the other day I said, okay, how many of the guys in the room haven't had a year that we didn't go to a bowl? And, you know, it's two-thirds, three-quarters of the team. Every year they've been here, we've been to a bowl. I said, okay, who was here the first 3-9 year, the second 3-9 year? And that's a much smaller group. And those are the leaders of our football team. Those are the guys that have gotten us through the tough weeks. That, you know, if you get beat by Clemson or beat by Notre Dame, they're the ones in the locker room saying, guys, hey, it's not that bad. We can come back from this because we've done it before. And, you know, I think adjectives get overused, but there's a lot of guys in that group that I think I'll have relationships with and keep in touch with 10, 15, 20 years from now. So I hope so. You know, they may not want to keep in touch with me. That's a whole different story. You know, but I just, some really good guys in that group, and appreciate everything they've done. I mean, Cam Glenn was committed when I first got here, and had Cam's a guy that had other offers and stuck with us, and, you know, not just the players, but their parents. And I mean, we want to send them out the right way, and the right way would be to get a game 13. And we've got our work cut out for us.
The video was put out at the post-game, the game ball presentation. Obviously an emotional week for you and your team. What was that like, I guess, for you as a coach and as a leader of young men, being able to present that game ball both to Jamie and then, of course, to Johnny? Well,
just Jamie, you know, just kind of persevered when things didn't go his way. And, you know, Jamie's been hurt the whole year. Yeah. I mean, Jamie would have played a lot more if he had just been healthy. And for Johnny Foster, I mean, he's awesome. That guy flies himself down here every single week to be a volunteer equipment manager. He loves Wake Forest, and he buried his mother the day before and still found a way to be at NC State with us. And, you know, I want our players to appreciate, you know, that our program means a lot to a lot more people than they probably realize. And I think you even go back to the 70s, that Johnny was a student equipment manager here then, and those guys love him. And just a very genuine, good person. He's very much a part of our football program and our football family. And, you know, he lost his mom in the past week and buried her, and he was still with us. And I just wanted Johnny to know how much we care about him and how important he is to us. And I also wanted our players to recognize that what he had been through, and yet he still made the effort to be there for our football team.